गौरभक्तवृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र। Hare Krishna. Welcome to Caitanya Pravaha online course. In the previous session, we have covered the first 7 chapters of Antya lila, and today we'll begin from the 8th chapter. In the Antya lila, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's several exemplary interactions with his various devotees are described. In the first chapter, we have seen Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's interactions with Rupa Goswami. And in the second chapter, we saw how Mahaprabhu has been very strict with the Chota Haridas. In the third chapter, we saw such loving dealings between Lord Caitanya and Haridas Thakur. And in the fourth chapter, we saw how Mahaprabhu received Sanatana Goswami at Jagannath Puri and very lovingly treated him and cured his disease. And in the fifth chapter, we saw how Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu glorified Ramananda Rai by asking Pradyumna Mishra to go and hear Krishna Katha from Ramananda Rai. And in the 6th chapter of Antya lila, we have seen Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy on Radhanath Das Goswami. And finally, in the 7th chapter, we saw how Mahaprabhu destroyed the pride of Vallabh Bhatta. So these are the first 7 chapters of Antya lila. Now in the 8th chapter of Antya lila, we see Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's interactions with Ramachandra Puri. Ramachandra Puri happens to be a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and he was the god brother of Ishvara Puri. But Ramachandra Puri has a critical nature. So his nature is that he would first induce someone to eat more than necessary, and then he would criticize that person that he's eating a lot. So there's a very specific way in which he offends and criticizes devotees. So once this Ramachandra Puri came to Jagannath Puri, and Ramachandra Puri wanted to stay in Jagannath Puri for a while. So all the devotees were very respectful to him, not exactly according to his qualities, but mainly because of his position as a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and he's also a renunciant. So everyone just naturally respected him. So sometimes we may receive some respect from others, but it's not necessarily for our character or for our act, but it's more according to our position or certain ashram or sampradaya that we represent. So we should not attribute too much of self-importance, and we should not think ourselves to be great just because we are receiving respect from different people. They may be respecting based on different reasons. For example, the other day we saw how Gadadhar Pandit could not say no to Vallabh Bhatta. Vallabh Bhatta was forcefully speaking Srimad Bhagavatam commentary that he has written to Gadadhar Pandit, but Gadadhar Pandit could not say anything because Gadadhar Pandit thought that, oh, he's a Brahmana, how can I say no to him? So the respect that Vallabh Bhatta received was because he was a Brahmana. But if you see the quality of his work, because he has minimized the position of Sridhar Swami and he has written something against Sridhar Swami, the commentary that he has written is faulty, which was disapproved by even Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. But Gadadhar Pandit just respected him just because he's a Brahmana. So sometimes one may receive some respect because he's a Brahmana, he's a Brahmachari, he's a sannyasi, or he has some name, or he's representing some institution, or he's connected to some sampradaya. But one should not become proud of one's affiliation with something great without oneself having some good qualities. Right? So Ramachandra Puri also received a lot of respect from the Jagannath Puri Vasis, but he has a very critical nature and people are not very happy with him. So now, once Ramachandra Puri was with Madhavendra Puri. So now Madhavendra Puri had these two glorious disciples, like one glorious disciple, that is Ishwara Puri, and he also has Ramachandra Puri as his disciple. But Ishwara Puri rendered service to Madhavendra Puri in a very, very exemplary manner, and Ishwara Puri especially spoke on Krishna's pastimes to Madhavendra Puri, and Madhavendra Puri was very much assisted and helped by Ishwara Puri to remember Krishna at the end of his life. So he was in pain, but Ishwara Puri did all kinds of menial services, physical services to Madhavendra Puri. So at that time, Ramachandra Puri came there and started instructing his guru. He was not even thinking that, oh, Madhavendra Puri is my guru. He was instructing Madhavendra Puri, he was saying, Madhavendra Puri was thinking that, oh Lord, I could not see you, I could not take shelter at Mathura. Like that, he was lamenting. And Ramachandra Puri foolishly instructed him, saying that you should now meditate on Brahman. Why are you crying like this? Okay. So Ramachandra Puri could not understand the glorious feelings of separation experienced by Madhavendra Puri, but he was trying to instruct his own guru. So Madhavendra Puri very angrily rebuked Ramachandra Puri. Get out of this place, you sinful person. So I cannot even see your face. If I die seeing your face, I will not get any good destination. Right? So I am crying in separation from Krishna, that I am dying without achieving Krishna's shelter, and I am unhappy. And now this person is coming to instruct me about Brahman here. Okay. So like that, Ramachandra Puri was severely chastised by Madhavendra Puri. So now, very important here, Sushka Brahmagnani nahi Krishnera sambandha, Sarvaloka nindakare nindate nirbandha. So because Ramachandra Puri was very critical and very offensive towards his guru, that offense led to material desires. So when we commit offenses against Vaishnavas, we develop material desires for sense enjoyment, and we develop some mentality of Mayavadis. So offenses to devotees will lead to material desires. One has to be very careful, especially in dealing with Guru and some very exalted Vaishnavas, right? So because Madhavendra Puri committed an offense to Guru, he got Vasana Janmila. Vasana Janmila means he developed some material desires. And he developed Mayavadic tendencies. So this Mayavadic tendency is born out of committing offenses. And that Mayavadic tendency he inspired him to commit more offenses. Like it's a big cyclic loop. Vasana. On the other hand, Ishwara Puri, because he rendered such menial service to Madhavendra Puri, he got the benediction or blessing of Premadhana, while Ramachandra Puri got the curse of Madhavendra Puri. So these two personalities, Ramachandra Puri and Ishwara Puri, they are very good examples of pleasing a great soul and displeasing a great soul. Right? What is the result of pleasing a great soul, and what is the result of displeasing exalted personality? So we can understand from them. So this is the background of Ramachandra Puri. So that Ramachandra Puri once came to Jagannath Puri, and Ramachandra Puri's only concern was to find faults with everyone, but he could not find any fault with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So he was trying to search faults in him, but he could not find anything. So one day, this Ramachandra Puri came to Mahaprabhu's place and he found some ants there. And he said that, oh, somebody must have eaten a lot of sweets here, that's why there are ants. Actually, ants wander everywhere. But just because there are ants, that does not mean somebody is eating sweets and that somebody is Mahaprabhu only. It's not necessarily so. But Ramachandra Puri accused Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of eating so many sweets, although he was a sannyasi. So he criticized him. And although he attributed some imaginary faults on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was very tolerant and he kept quiet. And also, Ramachandra Puri was spreading rumors about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here and there. He was being critical about him at different places. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Govinda, from today I shall accept only 1/4 of a pot of Mahaprabhu's, Jagannath's Mahaprasad. So I cannot accept my full meals. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu basically cut down his meals. He reduced the quantity of his meals. And he started eating only half of his usual quantity. And all the devotees who like happily and lovingly serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Prasad, they became so unhappy that Mahaprabhu is not eating properly now. So now Mahaprabhu cut down his meals because Ramachandra Puri was criticizing. So people started condemning Ramachandra Puri. This sinful person has come here and he started disturbing all our peace, right? So Ramachandra Puri was very heavily condemned by all the devotees there. All of them felt that he was a big stone on their head. Okay, nobody likes to carry a big stone on their head for a long time. But Ramachandra Puri's mere presence made the devotees feel like that. So our presence in a Vaishnava community should not trouble devotees, should be of some service to devotees. But if it is of some trouble to devotees, then we will accumulate their curses. But if we do some sincere service to devotees, then we get their blessings. So we should act and speak in such a way that devotees are satisfied and pleased with us. And our survival in spiritual life is dependent on the blessings of Vaishnavas, the pleasure of Vaishnavas. So that's why one should not try to displease Vaishnavas. So now Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental nature is being described here. He just behaved according to time, place, and circumstances. Sometimes he behaved like a common man and accepted Ramachandra Puri as his master. And sometimes he manifested godly appearance and he just rejected Ramachandra Puri. So now, then Ramachandra Puri, when he started finding faults, Paramananda Puri and many other devotees came to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requested him. Ramachandra Puri's nature is to be critical. Just because he is being critical, that does not mean that you stop eating food properly. You are eating only half of the quantity, you are getting weaker. Mahaprabhu, please eat sufficient quantity of food. So Paramananda Puri personally requested Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says, my God brother Ramachandra Puri is by nature a bad critic. Of course, I am not supposed to be criticizing him, but it has become a necessity for me to speak the facts that he is a critical person. So you should not be taking his words very seriously. So then his nature is to abandon praise and accept faults. Means somebody is worth glorifying and praising and appreciating. But Ramachandra Puri does not give importance to those good qualities of a person. He focuses only on the bad qualities and elaborates them and then he criticizes them. Okay. So, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, why are you all angry with Ramachandra Puri? Why are you accusing him? He is just expounding the natural principles of sannyas life. So it's not proper for a sannyasi to indulge in satisfying one's tongue. So now I should just be, as a sannyasi, I should just be eating as much as required for keeping my body and soul together, not more than that. Okay. So by doing so, by saying like this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not accept the request of Paramananda Puri. He continued to accept reduced quantity of meals, and he also said that if you push me anymore to eat meals or you speak against Ramachandra Puri, then I will just quit this place and I will go to Radhanath. And devotees become very fearful. No, 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 you don't go. They stop pushing him, right? So then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu behaved according to the time, place, circumstances. So here is one person who, although he is a critical person, but he is a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is not being saying anything against him, but he is just reducing his meals. Bhakta Gane Sukhadite Prabhur Avatar Yahayaiche Yogyataha Karena Vyavahar. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu descended to give happiness to his devotees, but sometimes he may act in such a way that the devotees become unhappy because he does not want to create any disturbance, more disturbance in the mind of Ramachandra Puri, who is already critical. So like that, the Lord is fully independent in behaving the way he wants. All the devotees are fervently requesting him, Mahaprabhu is not accepting the request, right? Kabhu laukika riti yena itara jana kabhu swatantra karena aishwarya prakatana. So sometimes he behaves like a common man, laukika riti, like itara jana, like other people, but sometimes swatantra, he is extremely independent, and karena aishwarya prakatana, and he will manifest his opulence. So that's why Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is his activities are very difficult to understand. Ishvara charitra prabhura buddhira agochar yabeyai karena sei saba manohar. So Ishvara charitra prabhura buddhira agochar. Our buddhi, our intelligence cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Lord. Yabeyai karena sei saba manohar. But whatever he did, whatever he liked, but all his activities are manohara, means they steal the mind. They are very beautiful. Like that. So eventually, Ramachandra Puri departed from there. He stayed for some days in Puri, and then he went to visit other holy places. And the devotees felt, my God, such a great relief. The big burden on our head is put down. They felt like that. Then Mahaprabhu started accepting invitations as usual, and he was eating nicely. He was doing kirtan, dancing, and everything. So like that. But the point here is, the main lesson that we can learn from the activities of Ramachandra Puri is that if one's guru rejects a person, if a guru rejects a disciple, one becomes so fallen that he could even commit offenses to the Supreme Lord also. So Madhavendra Puri rejected Ramachandra Puri, and Ramachandra Puri became very critical towards everybody in general, and here even he is criticizing Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu also. Okay. And Mahaprabhu did not consider Ramachandra Puri's offenses very seriously. At one point, when Mahaprabhu cut down his meals, Ramachandra Puri also personally came to Lord Caitanya and said, "Oh, I have heard that you have cut down your meals. It's not proper. A sannyasi should eat properly. Yukta hara viharasya, yukta chestasya karmasya." He just speaks all Bhagavad Gita shlokas also to encourage Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to eat properly. So like that, he only criticizes, but he only gives instructions. So Mahaprabhu is always respectful, right? On the other hand, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw Brahmananda Bharati with the deer skin, he immediately corrected him. He said, "Who is this? Brahmananda Bharati is not he. He's wearing deer skin. How can he wear deer skin? You are speaking about something else, somebody else." He said like that. So here Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is giving a correction to another sannyasi if he is able to take it. But he did not do any attempt to rectify the mentality of Ramachandra Puri, at least whatever is described within Caitanya-caritamrita. Right? So like that, Mahaprabhu behaves in different ways with different devotees. We cannot completely understand it, as Kaviraj Goswami himself says. Caitanya-caritamrita amrutera pura sunite shravane mani lagaye madhura. So Mahaprabhu's character is full of nectar. Hearing about that character completely pleases our mind and ears, right? Sunite shravane mane lagiye madhura. Okay. Caitanya charitra likhi suna eka mani anaya se pabe prema Sri Krishna charani. So if you read Caitanya-caritamrita written by Kaviraj Goswami, one can easily attain the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna Charan. So now 9th chapter, the deliverance of Gopinath Patnaik, another devotee. Okay, so Kaviraj Goswami begins with the chapter by describing Mahaprabhu's daily pastimes in Puri. So people from all 3 worlds came to see Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and to get his audience. So people from different planetary systems also would come in disguise. So, and one day Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was in his place, and there's one nice shloka, the beginning of this chapter. Aganya dhanya chaitanya gananam prema vanyaya ninye dhanya janasvanta maruhu shashvat anupatam. Aganya dhanya chaitanya means, aganya means you cannot count them. Glorious. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has innumerable glorious followers. So gananam prema vanyaya, all these devotees have brought a constant flood of prema. Prema vanya means flood of prema. Ninye adhanya janasvanta maruhu shashvat anupatam. So adhanya means unfortunate. Okay. Maruh means desert. So these devotees of the Lord are very fortunate. They brought a constant flood of prema to the desert-like hearts of unfortunate people. So in a desert, when the flood comes, desert becomes very happy. Similarly, in the desert-like hearts of common people, when the flood of Krishna prema comes, they also become happy, right, spiritually. In this way, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates are inundating the whole world with Krishna prema. So people from all the 3 worlds used to come, from all planetary systems. Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, and many other sages came to see Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So like that, Mahaprabhu is staying happily in Jagannath Puri. So one day, so many people came to Lord Caitanya and told him that Gopinath Patnaik, the son of Bhavananda Rai and the brother of Ramananda Rai, so he was put on Changa, okay, by the government, by the prince. Okay, all the devotees requested Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to save Gopinath Patnaik. Mahaprabhu asked him, what's his mistake? Why Gopinath Patnaik was being punished by the king? So now Mahaprabhu asks the background. The devotees say honestly that actually Gopinath Patnaik was appointed as a tax collector at so and so place, but he is obliged to pay all this money to the government, but he did not pay completely. He spent something. As Mahaprabhu clarifies later, he spent that money to see some dancing girls. Okay, for some enjoyment he had spent that money, so he could not pay, and the government demanded it some. And he says, no, I cannot pay. I don't have money now. So I have some horses. You take these horses for a proper price, and remaining money I will pay little later. Okay, give me some time. But the government, the prince purposefully quoted lesser price, okay, than what the horses deserve. So basically, the devotees were speaking like this. Gopinath is indebted to the king. That's why the king is punishing. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, if this Gopinath Patnaik is not paying the money that he is supposed to pay to the government, and if the government is punishing, why is the king at fault? The king is not at fault. Okay, so he's supposed to pay. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu condemned the mistake of Gopinath Patnaik. So then he was put on Changa. Actually, the background is the prince quoted a less price for the horses, and prince had certain idiosyncrasy. Sometimes he would turn his head and then look up down like this, look up like this. So then Gopinath Patnaik became upset when the prince quoted some lesser price for his horses. Then he said that my horses are perfect horses. They don't turn their head like this and then look up. every now and then, like you are doing. He criticized the prince, and prince became very angry. The prince said that you are not paying money, okay, and on top of it, you are criticizing, you are mocking me also. You know why Gopinath Patnaik did it? Because he is very close to the king. King loves him so much. So because of his close connection with the king, this Gopinath Patnaik dared to even criticize or mock the prince, right? So when we are in affiliation with some great person, we may tend to look down upon other people. Okay? So the prince became angry and he kept him on the changa. Okay, changa means a arrangement which is made with upraised swords. Okay, and a person is just thrown on these swords, and because of the weight of the body and the gravitational force of the earth, the person will just go down close to the earth. But his body is being pierced by these swords. It's very painful even to describe or look at, but a person is punished like that. So some devotees came with so much of anxiety to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Gopinath Patnaik is already raised on the changa. He was about to be thrown on the changa. Lord, please do something. You are the Supreme Lord, and Gopinath Patnaik is the son of Bhavananda Rai, and all the family members of Bhavananda Rai are your eternal servants, they are eternal devotees. Please do something to protect. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu showed some affectionate anger, pranaya rosha. He said, there is no fault in the king in punishing Gopinath Patnaik. He did a mistake. He did not pay money. Okay. So then, meanwhile, another devotee came and said, Vaninath Rai is also arrested now. Vaninath Rai is another brother of Gopinath Patnaik. So he is also arrested. So then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu says that, why are you people just coming and informing me everything what's happening there? So he's supposed to pay money to the government. If he's not paying, the king will just do the needful in realizing that money. I'm a sannyasi, what can I do? What are you expecting from me? Should I go and spread my cloth in front of the king and beg for money? If I go and then support Gopinath Patnaik, that would mean that I'm supporting such mistake that he's done. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu did not approve the social misbehavior done by this Gopinath Patnaik. Of course, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu never gave up his affection. He did not disown Gopinath Patnaik in one sense, but he never approved the mistake. He disapproved the mistake. So Mahaprabhu, as a sannyasi, he did not want to support any social misbehavior. If someone misappropriates government's money, which is valuable like Brahmana's property or more than that, Brahmana's property, Mahaprabhu says, so he's just supposed to receive that punishment. And I'm a sannyasi, what can I do? I cannot do anything. Okay, then I'm a beggar. So if at all you want his deliverance, you just pray to Jagannath. Jagannath will do the needful. Okay, Ishvara Jagannatha Yara Haite Sarva Artha Kartum Akartum Anyatha Karite Samartha. Ishvara Jagannatha. Jagannath is the supreme controller. Yare Hate Sarva Artha. He knows everything. Kartum Akartum Anyatha Karite Samartha. He can do, he can undo, he can do something else also. So he is capable of everything. So you all should pray to Lord Jagannath if at all you desire Gopinath Patnaik's deliverance. Now you see, say Gaura, say Krishna, say Jagannath. Okay. So here Gaura is directing the devotees to Jagannath. I cannot protect him. I am a sannyasi. I am playing the role of a sannyasi. But Jagannath can protect him. He is the Supreme Lord. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is playing the role of a devotee and a sannyasi. So in that position, if he goes and supports Gopinath Patnaik or says or does something on his behalf to save him from this predicament, people may misinterpret it. People may think that, oh, Mahaprabhu is supporting people who squander government's money. And Gopinath Patnaik is like visibly, mistake is known to many people. So Gopinath Patnaik is using that money, government money, to see dancing girls, right? For sense gratification, he is using that money. And if Mahaprabhu goes and supports him, what will happen? Like sannyasi, he should not be getting into such affairs only. of common people, of materialistic people, Mahaprabhu says. Of course, Gopinath Patnaik is not a materialistic person as such. He's a devotee, but he did this mistake. Right? Sometimes devotees also may do some mistakes. Right? So then the Lord directed all the devotees to Jagannath. Okay. Lord Jagannath. Meanwhile, while devotees were praying to Jagannath, one minister or one assistant of the king, Harichandana Patra, he went to the king, Pratapardhar Maharaj, and said, "Oh king, what benefit is there in killing Gopinath Patnaik? Why are you killing Gopinath Patnaik? If Gopinath Patnaik's life is taken away, will you be able to get your money back?" Then the king understood, who is killing Gopinath Patnaik? I never knew this. Is someone killing Gopinath Patnaik? Yes, of course, the prince has put him on the changa. Then the king realized, my God, I never wanted his life. I just wanted the money back. Okay. So king became very surprised. And the king said, I just gave the authority to the prince to do the needful to realize money. But I never wanted to kill Gopinath Patnaik. Go and immediately stop that changa punishment. Then Harichandra Patra immediately comes to the prince and tells, king doesn't want this to happen. Then Gopinath Patnaik was taken out of the changa, and then his horses were taken for a proper price, and the remaining money he's supposed to pay in some time. The time was set. Then Gopinath Patnaik said, okay, I was just only asking for proper price for my horses, and without any justice, you are just killing me, you are taking away my life. What can I say? Gopinath Patnaik, but he was happy. So he was released. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu heard this whole thing, and he didn't show much reaction. But Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked, Vaninath Rai was also arrested, right? What was he doing when he was arrested? Then the devotees told him, Vaninath Rai was constantly chanting the holy names of the Lord when he was arrested. And he was counting also by putting a mark on his own body. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu felt happy that, oh, Vaninath Rai was remembering the Lord. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu that night spoke to Kashi Mishra. So Kashi Mishra was a priest. He was serving Jagannathji also. He was an elderly person. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Kashi Mishra. I think there is so much of disturbance here. So I am being disturbed by so many things in Jagannath Puri. So let me go to Alalnath. I don't want to stay here anymore. So hearing this, Kashi Mishra felt so astonished. My dear Lord, why do you want to go to Alalnath? What happened? Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu spoke everything that has happened. So people are disturbing me. Then Kashi Mishra said, no, my dear Lord, you should not go. I will make sure that these materialistic people will not bother you. Okay. So Kashi Mishra informed everything. He requested him not to leave. He says that, my dear Lord, one who worships your lotus feet to serve you, then he is a very exalted person. But one who worships your lotus feet for some material benefits, then he is a very foolish person, right? So basically, Kashi Mishra pacifies Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu by describing the difference between motivated worship and unmotivated worship. He says, Tomara bhajan phale tomate prema dhana vishaya lagi tomaya bhaje sei murkha jana. So vishaya lagi toma bhaje sei murkha jana. If someone is expecting something material from you, then he is not a intelligent person, he is a murkha. So why did he say this? Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was concerned that people are coming and pulling him into some materialistic affairs. Here is Gopinath Patnaik, owes some money to the government, and he did not pay. Why Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has to go? Yes. So that's a materialistic expectation. So that's why Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu did not appreciate that, and he expressed his anguish to Kashi Mishra, and Kashi Mishra also supported. Yes, one should not approach you for some materialistic reasons. But, my dear Lord, please understand things. He very mildly spoke to the Lord. Gopinath Patnaik never meant to come to you to solve his material problem. Gopinath Patnaik did not send any of his men seeking your help. But all the devotees love Gopinath Patnaik so much, that's why they came on their own, voluntarily, requesting you to protect him. So, Gopinath Patnaik did not have material desires. He was not having any material expectations from the Lord. Okay. Second, the devotees also did not have any material desires because they were selflessly praying for Gopinath Patnaik. So here nobody, although apparently it's a material problem, but nobody had a material expectation from the Lord. So all the devotees were requesting Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu just out of their concern for Gopinath Patnaik and nothing else. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, and Kashi Mishra very expertly brought this to the notice of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Gopinath Patnaik is a gentleman. He never desired any material benefits from you. One who desires your mercy and engages in your devotional service 24 hours in a day, he will soon attain your lotus feet. And Gopinath Patnaik is definitely a great devotee. He never wanted to take any material expectations from you, material desires from you. Tomara anukampa chahe bhaje anukshan, achirat mile tare tomara charan. So, one who desires the Lord's mercy will definitely get it. Okay, but one who desires something material is not a intelligent person. So then this Kashi Mishra pacified Lord Caitanya and told him to stay in Jagannath Puri only. And then that night, Prataprudra Maharaj came to Kashi Mishra. And Kashi Mishra is a very exalted servant of Jagannath Ji. And just to take his blessings, Prataprudra Maharaj personally comes to massage his feet. So then Kashi Mishra informed everything that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to him, to our Prataprudra Maharaj. So Prataprudra Maharaj was very much pained. Oh, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was disturbed by this whole affair. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I will go to Jalalnath. Please keep him here. Even if for one moment also if I can see him, I wouldn't care for millions of Chintamani stones also. What to speak of this 200,000 whatever kahanas. In those days currency is called kahanas. What to speak of the small sum of 200,000 kahanas that Gopinath Patnaik was supposed to give me. I will relieve Gopinath Patnaik from all this debt. Okay. Then Kashi Mishra said, no, it is not the Lord's desire that you relieve him of his debt. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu chastised Gopinath Patnaik for squandering government's money. So it was never his intention that you relieve Gopinath Patnaik from his debt. So please don't do that. He never meant so. Then the king said, no, it's not that. And Kashi Mishra also indicated multiple times that if you relieve Gopinath Patnaik from his debt, that would be seen as an indirect favor to Lord Caitanya only. So please don't do that. Then the king said, no, I have absolutely no reservations in doing it. Actually, Gopinath Patnaik spends a lot of money of the government. I don't mind. Ramananda Rai also does a lot of charity, and then he also spends a lot of money. So I have absolutely no reservations in doing so. And again, Kashi Mishra said, no, excusing Gopinath of his debts will make Lord Caitanya unhappy. That was not his intention. The Lord is just feeling unhappy because the whole family was troubled. Otherwise, basically, Kashi Mishra is showing little diplomacy there. Okay. But the king said, I will absolve all the debts of Gopinath Patnaik, but you don't have to speak this to the Lord. It's a very important principle here that Prataprudra Maharaj was about to relieve Gopinath from all debts. So, but he does not want any recognition for this activity that he's doing. Right? So then Kashi Mishra went to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and told Lord Caitanya that the king is relieving Gopinath Patnaik from all his debts. Then again, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu became very, very upset that, oh, Kashi Mishra, why are you playing such tricks? It would be indirect. It would be an indirect favor that I am taking from the king. If the king relieves Gopinath Patnaik from his debts. No, my dear Mahaprabhu, Gopinath Patnaik is very dear to Prataprudra Maharaj. That's why Prataprudra Maharaj is relieving him from all his debts. It's not at all a favor from you. So like that, Lord Kashi Mishra convinced Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you see, in this whole pastime, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very, very careful in protecting his position as a sannyasi. As a sannyasi, he should not be seemingly favoring anyone who is caught in a material problem. In the sense that, like, it's a money matter. Government money is like squandered for some objectionable purposes. And if Mahaprabhu is seemingly supporting a person who has done it, just on the grounds that he's a devotee of the Lord, that would pass a very, very wrong message for all future generations to come. So Mahaprabhu never compromised on his sannyasa principles. He never wanted to get involved in any money matters of common people. He protected his position as a sannyasi without getting into the money affairs. But at heart, he did not give up his affection for Gopinath Patnaik. Just because the devotees came and informed about Gopinath Patnaik to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of great concern and love and affection, all these things have happened. You know what the king did? King called Gopinath Patnaik and told Gopinath Patnaik, I am relieving you from all your debts, so you don't have to pay anything back. So you all can just live happily, but never squander the money of government anymore. If you think that your salary is not sufficient, I will double your salary. So Gopinath Patnaik was relieved from his debt. His salary was doubled, and also he has been given a silken wrapper and an honor. And Gopinath Patnaik was released like this. So Gopinath Patnaik came to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along with Bhavanandara and many other of the devotees, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu received him, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Mahaprabhu's mercy, all these things have happened. Paramarthe Prabhura Kripa Seharahu Dure Ananta Tahara Fala Kebalite Pare. So Paramarthe Prabhura Kripa. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, one can become spiritually advanced. No one can estimate the results of his mercy. Here you see the real mercy that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to Gopinath Patnaik was not doubling his salary, was not relieving him from his debt, and it's not even releasing him from changa or death punishment. Okay, it's not the silken wrapper or the honor that he received from the king. It's not that reappointment in the same place for his job. All these are external, right? Protection on a material plane is an external and insignificant byproduct of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It's not the main mercy. The main mercy that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to Gopinath Patnaik is a realization. Gopinath Patnaik realized that this material opulence is insignificant. Oh Lord, you have given your real mercy to Ramanandra and not me. I am not the real recipient of your mercy. I only got double salary now. That's not your real mercy. You have given detachment from all material enjoyment to Ramanandra. I want that kind of mercy. I want that renunciation. So these are the wonderful activities of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ke kahite pare gaurera ascharya swabhav Brahma Shiva Adiyara Napaya Antarbhav. Who can estimate the glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Even Brahma and Shiva also cannot estimate. So the kind of mercy that he has shown to Gopinath Patnaik was really unparalleled. So Gopinath Patnaik realized the futility of material wealth and material enjoyment, and he never got indulged in any sense gratificatory activity henceforth, and he did not misuse government's money anymore. And he understood the real pleasure that is present only in pure bhakti, like Ramananda Rai did. So now, although sometimes the Lord gives some material benedictions or material protection to some of his devotees, the devotees don't give so much of value to that material boons that they get from the Lord, but they realize that the real blessing is the blessing of bhakti, devotional service. Gopinath Patnaik was given so much of money and position and honor and protection from death, etc., etc., but he did not give them so much of importance. Yes, they are valuable because Mahaprabhu bestowed all of that, but he did not become so excited with that. He became very much from material enjoyment, and he developed a devotion towards the Lord. Okay. He was a devotee, definitely a very great devotee, but he was distracted for a while. Sometimes even devotees also may sometimes get distracted. Similarly, there is this fruit vendor in Vrindavan. So this fruit vendor also received so many jewels and gold and silver and diamonds from Krishna, and all these diamonds were filling her basket just because she gave some fruits to Lord Krishna, little baby Krishna. But this fruit vendor did not get excited with that wealth. She went and she brought more and more fruits, and she just wanted to see the smile of Krishna. She was not interested in the jewels given by Krishna. Same thing with Sudama. Sudama gave 4 handfuls of flat rice to Krishna, and that also Krishna took only 1 handful in that. But in return, Krishna gave unlimited opulence, like that of Indra, to Sudama. Sudama did not get excited with this opulence. Although the devotees receive material opulence from the Lord, they don't give so much of importance to that material opulence. They are not carried away with the external glare of that opulence that they received from the Lord. They see the heart of the Lord. They see how the Lord is so merciful upon them. They become grateful for that kindness and affection that the Lord showed upon them. So that's the way in which devotees function. Just like the Lord is bhavagrahi janardana. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. The Lord is bhavagrahi. He sees bhakti in us. He sees the attitude of an offering, not the magnitude of offering. So he was more excited with eating banana peel from Vidurani in Vidura's house, but he was not excited with the feast arranged with Duryodhana, because there is no bhakti there, there is no love there. Similarly, devotees also don't get excited by the material opulence that they receive from the Lord. They get excited with the mercy that the Lord shows upon them. Oh, the Lord is so personal and so affectionate towards me. He showed so much of affection to me. That excites them more than the wealth. Prahalad received so much of wealth from Narasimhadev. Lord Vishnu told Dhruva to rule the earth for 36,000 years. And also he was given the position in Dhruvaloka. But Prahalad Maharaj was regretting, why did I desire material opulence? Okay, he was regretting for it. So devotees don't get excited with material opulence, even if they get it from the Lord. Okay, they're more excited to receive that personal affection from the Lord. That's what we can see from Gopinath Patnaik's wonderful example. The Lord disapproved his mistake, but he did not disown him. The Lord is very personal to Gopinath Patnaik, and indirectly he showed mercy, and he also told, don't do this kind of mistakes again. Okay, so that's one thing. And another perspective, there are so many lessons in this. I may not be able to describe everything in a short class, but you see, Gopinath Patnaik was a devotee. Prataparudra Maharaj was a devotee. And all the other devotees who were supporting Gopinath Patnaik or praying for Gopinath Patnaik, like Sarvadamodar Goswami and many other devotees, they are also great devotees. Okay. And Kashi Mishra was a devotee. But even within a devotee community also, sometimes there could be some reasons for disputes, differences of opinion, and some kind of tensions even within the community of devotees. Okay, that's quite common. But one should be able to resolve them without getting into any grudges or enmity. So definitely Gopinath Patnaik did a mistake, but the entire Vaishnava community is very kind upon him. And the king, who is mainly affected by the mistake of Gopinath Patnaik, he was also kind towards him. Ultimately, what pleases Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the prime thing for a devotee. What pleases the Lord? That's what they look at. So Prataparudra Maharaj understood. He did such sacrifice. He sacrificed all the money that he supposed to receive, and he even sacrificed the credit of favoring Gopinath Patnaik. Means, don't let Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu know that I have relieved Gopinath Patnaik from all his debts. See, he is doing the seva. He's trying to resolve the conflict or some kind of tension that has happened. Even Purushottam Jana, the son of Prataparudra Maharaj, who ordered Gopinath Patnaik to be killed on the Changa, he is also an exalted soul. So Purushottam Jana, Prataparudra Maharaj, then Gopinath Patnaik, so they are all exalted personalities. But still there could be some dispute amongst them. But ultimately they all give importance to what pleases Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. They are together. They continue to stay together. So although within our devotee community also there could be some clashes at times, but we should always keep the pleasure of Guru and Krishna in the center. Then we can overcome and rise above all our differences and not hold any grudge or envy or hatred or any bitter feelings or negative feelings towards other devotees, even if there are causes for disputes. Right? That's a very grave and important lesson that we learn from Gopinath Patnaik's episode. Now let's go to the 10th chapter. So 10th chapter is very small and very interesting chapter. The 10th chapter describes how Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted prasadam from various devotees. So the devotees of Bengal came to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So they came with Advaita Acharya, Shivananda Sen, as usual. So this time, Raghava Pandit brought, every time he gets, Raghava Pandit brought so many food items to Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And Damayanti, who is the sister of Raghava Pandit, she made so many such preparations for the pleasure of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu received all the Bengali Vaishnavas at Narendra Sarovar, and they were doing so many pastimes in the Narendra Sarovar along with the Govindji deity, right? So, and there's an elaborate description of Raghavera Jali. Raghavera Jali means the bags in which Raghav Pandit brought all the food items for Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Sri Krishna Caitanyam Bhakta Nugraha Kataram Yena Kenapi Santushtam Bhakta Dattena Shraddhaya. So, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhaktanugraha Kataram. He always is very eager to show mercy upon his devotees. Yena Kenapi Santushtam, he is pleased to accept anything given by the devotees with faith. Yena Kenapi Santushtam Bhakta Dattena Shraddhaya. So, Raghavera Jali, all the bags of prasadam brought by Raghav Pandit are filled with real affection for Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepts it. Not only Raghav Pandit, many other devotees also brought so many offerings. Okay. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu was ordered by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to stay in Bengal, but he doesn't stay. Anuragera lakshana e vidhina hemane tara agna bhangyatara sangyara karane. So although Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu personally instructs Nityananda Prabhu not to come to Jagannath Puri every now and then, still Nityananda Prabhu comes. That is a symptom of affection, right? So out of love, a devotee can even break the orders of the Lord. The Lord told gopis of Vrindavan, why are you coming in the middle of the night? You're giving up all your family members. You should go back. Please go back to your houses. Don't come to the forest like that. Mahaprabhu, so Lord Krishna said, but the devotees did not hear. Gopis did not hear that. Gopis said, oh, Pati Sutanvaya Bhratrubandhava Tativilankyati Achyutagataha Gati Virastavo Udgita Mohitaha Kitava Yoshitaha Kastijen Nishi. So you are asking us to leave? Kitava Yoshitaha, you are a cheater, Krishna. We left everything to come to you and you are leaving us. What kind of cheater you are? We will stay here. And they did not listen to him. So, like that, Nityananda Prabhu showed his mercy. And actually, Kaviraj Goswami elaborately describes the preparations made by Damayanti and Raghav Pandit, brought by Raghav Pandit. So that's a long description. You can go through Caitanya-caritamrita, 10th chapter. Then we also see that devotees participated in Jalakrida, as you see in this picture. And after that, the Lord, as usual, he performed Veda Sankirtan, right? He divided, and then Rath Yatra, everything happened. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu performed so many pastimes in the association of all devotees, and he performed Sankirtan in 7 Kirtan groups and exhibited all symptoms of mercy. Kshane Kshane Bade Prabhurananda Avesha Tritiya Prahara Haila Nritya Nahi Sesha. So at every moment Mahaprabhu's ecstasy increases, right? At every moment. So like that, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu performed this Veda Kirtan for a long time, and then he was fatigued. So he fell unconscious. He was not even breathing. And then suddenly he stood up and he made a loud sound, and all his hair stood up like the thorns of a simili tree. So like that, Mahaprabhu exhibited ecstatic symptoms, and then finally Mahaprabhu came back to his Gambhira, his house, and then he laid down at the door of Gambhira. You see this picture. So Mahaprabhu was lying down at the door of Gambhira. He says that I am very much fatigued. Generally, Govinda comes and massages the feet of the Lord when he was sleeping in the afternoon. So and then after Mahaprabhu just takes rest, then Govinda goes and takes his prasad. So that day, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu purposefully slept at the door, blocking the entrance. That's not the place to sleep, but Mahaprabhu just slept there. Okay. And Govinda says, my dear Lord, can you please allow me to go inside? Can you just move aside so that I can come inside the room and massage your feet? So Mahaprabhu did not keep the feet towards Govinda. He kept it inside, kept his feet inside the room, and Govinda is outside the room. So Mahaprabhu says, I cannot move, I'm so tired. So please don't push me to move. Then, no, please move, slightly move, my dear Lord, you can do it. Please allow me to serve you. I want to massage your lotus feet. Please kindly turn on one side. Let me enter the room. Mahaprabhu says, I have no strength. Then how will I massage your legs? The Lord said, do it or don't do it. It depends on your mind. So but I cannot move. So Govinda took his cloth and then put it on Mahaprabhu. And he put his leg over the body of Mahaprabhu. He crossed over the body of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and entered the room. And he massaged the lotus feet of the Lord. And he sat there on. Okay. And he softly massaged the waist and pressed the back very softly. And all the fatigue of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was relieved. And he slept for about 45 minutes, and then he slept. He just got up. And he saw Govinda. Mahaprabhu asked him, what are you doing here? Why are you sitting so long today? Why didn't you go and take prasad after I fell asleep? And Govinda said, you were lying down, blocking the room. That's why I did not go. Then how did you enter the room? Okay, why don't you go outside the room the way you have come inside the room? Then Govinda says that Govinda kahe mane amara seva se niyama aparadha hauka kiba narake gamana. So my duty is to serve you. Actually, Govinda did not even say this. He was thinking like this in the mind. My duty is to serve you, even if I commit an offense for serving you, and even I go to hell also, I wouldn't mind. Seva lagi koti aparadha nahi gani. Swanimitta aparadhe bhase bhayaman. Seva lagi koti aparadha nahi gani. To render service to you, I can commit 1 crore offenses also. But for my own self, I cannot even perform a slight trace of offense. Aparadha abhas also I cannot. Okay. So like that, Govinda's real glory has been established. It's not that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu has no strength to move only. Definitely he has strength to move, but he purposefully did not move just to test Govinda. And more than testing Govinda, he announced the glories of Govinda to all of us. This is how a devotee is. Devotee can even commit an offense to the Lord if it is meant for the service of the Lord. But for his own personal enjoyment, for his meals or whatever, he cannot do anything. He cannot do even small. He cannot even think of committing a smallest offense. Right? These are some finer points of etiquette in bhakti. Ye saba haya bhakti shastra sukshma marma chaitanya ra kripaya jane ye saba dharma. So ye saba haya bhakti shastra sukshma marma. These are the finer messages in bhakti shastras. So only by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy we can understand these dharmas, right? So the Lord is very much interested in manifesting the qualities of his devotees. Bhakta guna prakashite prabhu badarangi. So Mahaprabhu is very excited to reveal the glories of his devotees. That's why he engineered this incident. Okay, it's all match fixing. He purposefully, he knows this is what Govinda is going to do. Somebody may argue, Govinda's eating food is also for Mahaprabhu's service only. Okay, he is nourishing his body. Why can't he cross? Why would that be considered an offense? Yeah, Govinda felt that I don't want to cross Mahaprabhu's body to eat meal. Eating meal is like for himself. Although he is engaged in service of the Lord, he can continue to engage in service of the Lord by fasting also. It's not that he's not going to die. And further, Govinda, like Mahaprabhu would get up in some time, right? So even if Mahaprabhu doesn't get up also, Govinda would have stayed there only. But Govinda's sentiment is this. So we cannot counter argue. Govinda's sentiment is, this is for my meals. I can fast, not a problem. But I cannot commit an offense to the Lord. So then Kaviraj Goswami describes all the events that happened during the monsoon. In the Chaturmasa, devotees of Bengal stayed in Jagannath Puri, and they would prepare so many food items for the Lord's pleasure, and they would give to the Lord also. They would personally invite the Lord to their houses and feed, and also they would make some preparations at their house and give to Govinda so that the Lord can eat. So this whole chapter is dedicated to Govinda mainly. So all the Bengal devotees are giving some foods to Govinda and following up with him. Did Mahaprabhu eat it? Did Mahaprabhu eat my sandesh? Did Mahaprabhu eat my so-and-so preparation? And Govinda had to little displease them. Oh, Mahaprabhu did not eat. Or he has to speak some lies to them just to encourage them. So one day Govinda spoke in frustration to Lord Caitanya, in disappointment. You see, sometimes Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees also become little frustrated, quote unquote, and they express, and Mahaprabhu allows them to express. Balabhadra Bhattacharya was frustrated with so many invitations that he was getting for Lord Caitanya in Vrindavan. Okay, and now Govindji is little disappointed that that so many devotees are giving prasadam for the Lord and the Lord is not eating, and he says, just keep it there, just keep it there, just keep it there. He keeps saying that. How much should I keep? The whole room is filled with food items. When will you eat all this? What will I tell? Then the Lord says, why are you, oh, Adivasi? Adivasi means an uncivilized person. Why are you being so unhappy foolishly? Right, bring everything there. I will eat right in front of you. Then Govinda happily goes there. Govinda did not get offended. that Mahaprabhu called me Adivasi. So Govindji happily brought all the food items given by all the devotees and lovingly fed this Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, very interestingly, he says that, my dear Lord, this so-and-so preparation is given by Srivas Pandit. And this preparation is given by Advaita Acharya. And this food item is given by Murari Gupta. Okay, this food item is given by Acharya Ratna. Then Sriman Pandit, Acharya Nandana, Kulinagaram devotees gave this, Kanda devotees gave this, Shivananda Sen gave this. Like this, there are hundreds of items there. Govinda is so personal that he remembers which item is given by whom. So that's the extent of personalism. Now you see, on a Govardhan Puja day, hundreds of devotees gather together and they make so many preparations. Okay. Now a devotee may remember what he has prepared or she has prepared, and maybe few items that other devotees have prepared. Okay, and then they are preparing once on a Govardhan Puja day. I think it's few years back. Some of our devotees just gathered together and they started making. I think we were making some vada. Vada, we were just boiling in the what is that? Oil. So, like, we remember so much bhoga, hundreds and at least some 300-400 of preparations were offered to Giriraj, and also at Radhakund, these offerings were being offered. That Radhakund, I mean, I'm telling about Govardhan Kovilis. Govardhan Kovilis, we have Giriraj, and in front of Giriraj there is Radhakund. All the steps of Radhakund were filled, and the offerings are going up to Radhanath Goswami Samadhi. Full, everything is filled there. But in all those items also, we could remember this is the item that we have prepared. So 3-4 of us were doing. So we, like, when somebody does it personally, we can remember. And of course, sometimes 3-4 devotees make the same item. They look same. They cannot recognize who made what. Okay, and someone who is very close to you, you can recognize. And that too, when the item looks distinctly different from other items, then you may remember. For example, on some Radhashtami or Janmashtami, devotees make cakes here. Sometimes 10 cakes, sometimes 11 cakes, sometimes 3 cakes. But the cake is decorated in different ways. So now different devotees who are making cakes, they put some cream on it, blue color, green color, cream color, and then make different patterns and write different things. So it's easy to recognize when the item is distinctly different from the other items. But in the midst of hundreds of items, which are not cooked on one day, okay, they were cooking on different days, and so many items are just piled up for several days. But still, Govinda is able, he did not cook anything. He was able to remember everything that every devotee has given. And Mahaprabhu is hearing the name and relishing the love of that particular devotee. And within just few minutes, Mahaprabhu ate so much of food that is equivalent to the food of 100 people. And finally asked, anything more is there? Anything more? Then Govinda said that now only Raghavera Jhali is pending. Raghava's bags are there. That I will see later, because they can stay for a while. And Raghava Pandit brings food items that can stay for several days, throughout the year actually. So Mahaprabhu said, I will see them later. Then he started eating those items also one by one, as day by day. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu accepted invitation from all those Bengal devotees, and then he eats prasadam. And he has a heavy schedule of invitation. Every now and then some devotee will come and request, please come to my house to take prasad, please come to my house to take prasad. So like that, this very sweet chapter, only loving exchanges. Shraddha kari sunaye Caitanya rakatha, Caitanya charane premi pai be sarvatha. Someone who hears Mahaprabhu's pastimes with faith and love, Shraddha, then one can attain ecstatic love for his lotus feet. Sunite amrita sama, judaya karna mana, seyi bhagyavana yeyi kahe aswadana, kare aswadana. So by hearing Mahaprabhu's pastimes, which are like nectar, one's ears and one's mind, Shrotramo Bhiramat, both are satisfied. Right? So that completes that chapter. Now we will enter the 11th chapter of this Antya lila. Namami haridasam tam chaitanyam tam cha tat prabhum samsthitam api yan murtim swanke kritva nanartayah. So this chapter describes the disappearance episode of Haridas Thakur. So when Haridas Thakur departed from this world, knowing that Mahaprabhu is going to depart very soon, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu took Haridas Thakur's body on his lap and he danced. So that's the subject matter of this chapter. So one day, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Haridas Thakur and inquired, Haridas Thakur, are you well? How is your health? Then Haridas Thakur said, my dear Lord, my body is all right, but my mind and intelligence are not well. Mahaprabhu said, what happened? What's your disease? And he says, my disease is that I cannot complete my rounds. Then Lord Caitanya said, you are already liberated and you are very old now. You can reduce the number of rounds. As Namacharya, you have sufficiently preached the glories of Holy Name. That's amazing. So please, you don't have to stand so many rounds. Then Haridas Thakur, with tears in his eyes, with so much of feeling, he said, Lord, and I can foresee that you are going to conclude your pastimes in this planet very soon. So can you please bless me to leave my body in your presence, seeing your lotus feet and chanting your holy names? I don't have the capacity to see your disappearance lila. So please allow me to pass away from this world before you depart from this world, my dear Lord. Please, I have this one little desire. Ye nicha deha mora padukatava age, ye vancha siddhi mora tomat yeti lage, tomatei lage. So he says that my only desire is that I catch your lotus feet and place them on my heart, and I look at your lotus face with my eyes, and with my tongue I chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya, your holy name, and give up my body. Just give me this one benediction. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Krishna is so merciful that he must execute whatever you want. Haridas Thakur, you want to die like this? That is your desire. Krishna has to fulfill that desire. Okay, basically, Krishna Chaitanya will fulfill that desire. Right? So then Haridas Thakur caught Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet and said, Na kariha maya avashyamo. He says, my dear Lord, please don't create illusion. Actually, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, Haridas, Krishna will fulfill your desire, but what will happen to me? In your absence, how will I maintain my life? And if you leave me behind and go to the spiritual world, how will I live? Then Haridas Thakur said that, oh Lord, please don't create any illusion. Although I am fallen, you are showing some mercy upon me. There are millions of devotees, there are more respectable personalities. Mora Shiromani Kata Kata Mahashay, Tomara lila rasahaya koti bhakta hai. So Mora Shiromani means all the devotees who are so exalted and they are rendering service to you, they are fit to sit on my head, right? When so many people are there, what is the use of me? I am as insignificant as an ant. If an ant dies, if an insect dies or if an ant dies, what loss is there for this material world? So you are very affectionate. Bhakta Vatsala Prabhu Tumi Mui Bhakta Bhas. You are Bhakta Vatsala and I am a Bhakta Bhas. I am an imitation devotee. Right? Avashya Purame Prabhu Mora Yai Ash. Please fulfill this desire. And saying this, Haridas Thakur was overwhelmed with emotion. And Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu also was overwhelmed with emotion, and seeing the humility of Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu's heart got melted. So the next day, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to the residence of Haridas Thakur. And as you are seeing in this picture, actually Mahaprabhu asked Haridas Thakur, what's the news? What's the update? Then Haridas Thakur said, my dear Lord, whatever mercy that you can show on me. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu placed his lotus feet on his chest, as you are seeing here, and Haridas Thakur is able to see the lotus face of Lord Caitanya, and he said, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Saying this, he gave up his body. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu picked up the dead body of Haridas Thakur, the transcendental body of Haridas Thakur, and he started dancing and chanting with all the devotees by holding him in his lap. And Mahaprabhu personally performed the final rites of Haridas Thakur on the bank of the sea. And he made a nice tomb, and all the devotees started dancing and chanting in great ecstasy. So here is a great devotee of the Lord who is departing from this world. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu personally begged Jagannath's Mahaprasadam from different shopkeepers and other devotees there, and he celebrated the passing away of Haridas Thakur and distributed prasadam to everybody. So now Mahaprabhu says that he glorifies Haridas Thakur. Kripa kari Krishna more diya chila sanga, swatantra Krishnera ichha kaila sanga bhanga. So only out of his causeless mercy Lord Krishna has given me the sangha, the association of Haridas Thakur. But because he is completely independent, swatantra Krishnera ichha kaila sanga bhanga, he just cut down this relationship. Not relationship, but the association. Right? Relationship is eternal, but association sometimes may break. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu compared Haridas Thakur with Bhishma Dev. So Bhishma also died according to his will, and Haridas Thakur also died according to his will. Bhishma died in the presence of, he left his body in the presence of Lord Krishna, and Haridas Thakur left his body in the presence of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So there are parallels between these two personalities. He has the crown jewel on the head of this world. Namera Mahimayana Karila Prakash. He revealed the importance of chanting the holy names of Krishna. So everyone had mixed feelings of happiness and distress. And Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu honored Haridas Thakur in this way. So Chaitanyera Bhaktavatsalya ihate jani Bhaktavancha Purna Kaila Nyasi Siromani. So Chaitanyera Bhaktavatsalya ihate jani. Please understand how affectionate Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is towards his devotees. Just to fulfill the desire of his devotees, this Nyasa Siromani, this best of all sannyasis, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu allowed Haridas Thakur to pass away in this peculiar manner. Right? So Maha Bhagavata Haridasa Parama Vidwan Yei Saubhagya Lagi Age Karila Prayan. So our Haridas Thakur is extremely fortunate personality. No one can be as fortunate as Haridas Thakur. He left his body according to his will in the presence of Lord Caitanya, and Lord Caitanya personally performed his funeral rites, and he picked up his body and started dancing. Okay. So this chapter has exactly 108 shlokas, and it's a very special incident that is described in this chapter. Caitanya-caritamrita amritera sindhu karanamana tripta kare yara ekabindu. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are amritera sindhu, that ocean of nectar. Karana mana tripta kare yara ekabindu. Just one drop of this nectar, it's an ocean of nectar, one drop of this ocean can completely satisfy our karana and mana. Bhava sindhu taribare aichayata chitta Shraddha kari sunayi Caitanya-caritamrita. So anyone who desires to cross over this Bhava Sindhu should faithfully hear Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So that completes the 11th chapter. Now we will enter the 12th chapter. So 12th chapter describes the loving dealings between Lord Caitanya and Jagadananda Pandit. So Jagadananda Pandit has a special kind of relationship with Lord Caitanya. While Gadadhar Pandit is very mild and gentle, Jagadananda Pandit could become very strict and aggressive sometimes. Mahaprabhu is in the mode of Satyabhama. So, Kaviraj Goswami begins this chapter with a very, very sweet shloka. Shruyatam shruyatam nityam giyatam giyatam muda chintyatam chintyatam bhaktaha Caitanya-caritamrita. Shruyatam shruyatam nityam, please hear Caitanya-caritamrita every day, nityam. Giyatam giyatam muda, and also describe, chant Mahaprabhu's pastimes every day. Chintyatam chintyatam bhaktaha means also remember, meditate on Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Basically, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all three you do. You do Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam of Caitanya-caritamrita. Okay, so it says like that. Then Mahaprabhu's ecstatic feelings of separation are very, very briefly described in this chapter. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes the journey of all the Bengal devotees to Jagannath Puri. So, as all the Bengal devotees were traveling to Jagannath Puri, as usual, Sivananda Saint took care of all these devotees and their residence in their prasadam. And Nityananda Prabhu also, as usual, accompanied these devotees. And Nityananda Prabhu was waiting. So Shivananda Sen was a bit packed with, busy with some toll collectors and tax collectors, and there was some delay in arranging accommodation and prasadam for Nityananda Prabhu and some devotees. So Nityananda Prabhu became very unhappy, very angry, and he cursed. I curse that Shivananda Sen's sons will die. So Shivananda Sen has 3 sons. Nityananda Prabhu said, Shivananda Sen has not arranged accommodation and prasadam for me till now, and I could die out of hunger also. So because he has not come, I curse that his 3 sons may die. And Shivananda Sen's wife came to know this and she began to cry. Then Shivananda Sen came back after completing his work, and then his wife informed him about this. And he said, you crazy woman, why are you needlessly crying? Let my sons die for all the inconvenience that I caused to Nityananda Prabhu. So then Shivananda Sen immediately went to Nityananda Prabhu just to arrange accommodation for him. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu kicked Shivananda Sen on his chest, as you are seeing in this picture. And Shivananda Sen became very happy and blessed. Okay, unless a person is considered very dearest associate of the Lord wouldn't kick like that. Okay, so Nityananda Prabhura Sabha Charitra Viparita Kruddhaya Lathi Mari Kare Tata Hita Kare Tara Hita. So Nityananda Prabhu's activities are little viparita. Sometimes they become extreme. He became angry and he even kicked Shivananda Sen. But that is also mercy. That we need to understand. It's also mercy. Okay. So in this way, but Shivananda Sen's relative, Sri Caitanya Sen, the nephew of Shivananda Sen, he felt offended. My uncle Shivananda Sen did so much of service, but Nityananda Prabhu is treating him like this. So Nityananda Prabhu is very, like, it's not justified that Nityananda Prabhu kicks Shivananda Sen in this way. He became very upset, and then he went to Jagannath Puri alone. Then Srikant, because he felt offended, actually he was feeling that Shivananda Sen is very famous as the associate of Lord Caitanya, but Nityananda Prabhu asserts his superiority by kicking him. Okay, so Srikant just went from there and he went to Lord Caitanya directly, and he offered obeisances to Lord Caitanya without removing his shirt or coat. And Govinda said, hey, you are supposed to remove, when you are offering obeisance to sannyasi, you are supposed to remove your upper garment. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't disturb him. He is distressed, right? So then Srikant Sen was surprised. Oh, how did Mahaprabhu know that I am distressed. Okay, so like this. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then showed so much of mercy on Shivananda Sen and his family. Shivananda Sen introduced his 3 sons to Lord Chaitanya, and because they were his sons, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed special mercy upon them. Okay, so then once before Shivananda Sen's son was born, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, when the son is born, give him the name Puridas. Then Shivananda Sen returned home, the son was born, and he was named Paramananda Das as per the Lord's order. The Lord jokingly called him Puridas, like this. The Shivananda Sen got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya in the form of his remnants. Every day he would get remnants of the Lord. And also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had some brief interactions with other devotees like Parameshwar Modak and other devotees. You can go through that. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu affectionately expressed his gratitude to all of them. Kashtera Putaliyana Kahuke na Chaya Ishvara Charitra Kichu Bhujanana Yaya. It's very difficult to understand the activities of the Lord. So next, Kaviraj Goswami comes to the main subject matter of this chapter, which is the affectionate interaction between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagadananda Pandit. So Jagadananda Pandit narrates a pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Nadia at the house of Sachi Mata. Once Jagadananda Pandit goes to Sachi Mata and then he stays there for a while, and there Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he informs Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about all he has seen with, at Nadia in Sachi Mata's place. Okay, so Jagadananda Pandit goes to, when he went to Sachi Mata, he says that, my dear mother, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to your place, and whenever you try to feed him, he would personally eat. Jagadanand, he personally eat whatever you are offering him, and you are thinking that you are dreaming, but he is personally eating. So then Jagadanand Pandit also met other devotees in Nadia, and then Jagadanand Pandit comes back to this place, Jagannath Puri. So Jagadanand Pandit stayed in Shivananda Sen's house for some time, and somehow they prepared some 16 seers of scented sandalwood oil in a big earthen pot, and that pot was brought by Jagadananda Pandit with so much of love and affection for Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, basically he gives that pot to Govinda so that Mahaprabhu can use it. But when Govinda told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Jagadananda Pandit is expecting you to apply this oil, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very angry and said that a sannyasi has no use for oil, especially perfumed oil like this. It's very expensive. Better give it to Jagannath temple so that they can use it to burn lamps. Okay. So then Jagadananda Pandit's labor also will be very successful. It will be useful. Then Govinda informed this to Jagadananda, and Jagadananda became a little disappointed. He became silent. Then after 10 days, Govinda again told, Jagadananda Pandit is desiring that you accept this oil. Lord Chaitanya became angry now. So why not keep a measure to massage me? Did I take sannyas for such happiness? Accepting this oil would bring ruination to my sannyas life. If someone is passing on the road and if he smells the oil that is coming from my head, what will they think? They may think that I am a tantric sannyasi. So Govinda became silent. He could not say anything. So then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Jagadananda directly. Okay, now Govinda is not just communicating between them. He told directly, you have brought some oil from Bengal, but because I am a sannyasi, I cannot accept it. So better you give it to Jagannath temple. They can use it to lit lamps. The Jagadananda Pandit said, who tells you all these false stories? I never brought any oil. Saying this, Jagadananda Pandit went inside the room. He took out the earthen pot of oil, and then he came out and angrily just threw it on the floor, and the pot broke and the oil is gone. So his several days of labor has been wasted like this. Okay, and Mahaprabhu became very angry. Sorry, he became very fearful. Okay, seeing Jagadananda Pandit's anger, and 3 days he would not sleep only. He would not speak only. So 3 days later, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagadananda Pandit's room and said, "Please get up." Then Jagadananda Pandit is man lila. He is not speaking only. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu had to somehow convince him. So how does he do that? Jagadananda Pandit has so much love for Lord Caitanya that he likes to cook and feed Lord Caitanya. So 3 days later, Lord Caitanya went and said, "I want you to personally cook my lunch today. Jagadananda Pandit, get up, open the door. I am going to come back. I'll go to temple and I'll come back in the noon. Please make prasadam." The Jagadananda Pandit immediately got up and then he started making all preparations for lunch. So he washed his feet and then when Mahaprabhu came, he started feeding him with so much love and affection. And Lord Chaitanya said, actually Mahaprabhu's idea is, let Jagadananda Pandit also eat with me. I should make him eat. But Jagadananda Pandit said, I will eat later, better you eat now. And Mahaprabhu did not dare to give a reply to him. He sat and started eating. Then he was eating, and as soon as he finishes one item little bit, Jagadananda Pandit puts more prasadam there. So like that, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was happily eating, but Jagadananda Pandit was forcefully making him eat more and more. And out of fear of Jagadananda Pandit, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu was eating more and more. So then finally he said, please don't force me anymore, I cannot eat more. Then Jagadananda Pandit smiled and then he left. Then Lord Caitanya said, please sit and eat now. No, I will eat later. No, you should eat now, right in front of my eyes. Then he says, no. There are some devotees who help me, so I will feed them and then I will eat later. Ramay Pandit and Radhanath Bhatta also helped me in the cooking, so I will also feed them and then I will eat. Then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu told Govinda, you should remain here and inform me when he has taken food. And Mahaprabhu went. So after lunch, Mahaprabhu will go and then lie down, and Govinda's duty is to massage his feet. But Lord Chaitanya told Govinda to see Jagadananda Pandit, whether he has eaten properly or not. But Jagadananda Pandit says, Govinda, your service is to do massage. What are you doing here? Mahaprabhu told me to see whether you are eating or not. I will eat, don't worry, you should go and massage Lord Chaitanya's feet. So between Lord Chaitanya's order and Jagadananda Pandit's order, whose order Govinda has to follow? Obviously Jagadananda Pandit, because Mahaprabhu also fears Jagadananda Pandit. So Govinda went to massage the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and after that, Jagadananda Pandit says, if Mahaprabhu asks you, tell him that I'm already sitting and I'm already eating. Okay. So then finally Govinda massaged and then came back to Jagadananda Pandit, and then all of them ate together nicely. So this is how Jagadananda Pandit has some special rasa, like Satyabhama Devi, like that. So these are some pastimes of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu with some of his devotees, and more pastimes of the Lord with Jagadananda Pandit and Radhanath Goswami and all we will see in the last session of Caitanya Pravaha course, which is the next Monday on Rath Yatra Day. On Jagannath Rath Yatra Day, we are concluding our Caitanya Pravaha course. Thank you very much. Sri Caitanya-caritamrita Jai, Srila Prabhupada.